Hello, I'm Rachel Vector, and welcome to TMN Television on Thursday, February 22nd. Tonight we look at Truman's recent visit to the state capitol, and later listen for our Truman Sports Update to find out about the latest on your favorite sports. These stories and more tonight on TMN Television. You don't want to miss this. Governor Greitens has been indicted for a felony invasion of privacy charge. The indictment is for transmitting a photo of a nude woman without the woman's knowledge or consent. The charge is related to an affair Greitens had in 2015, which Greitens admitted to having in January, and this is the first time charges have been filed. Kimberly M. Gardner, the St. Louis prosecutor on the case, says the statute of limitations for filing charges for the case would have expired next month. Greitens has resisted calls to resign. Students and faculty attend Truman's Day at the Capitol Tuesday, February 20th. This day is used for members of Truman State University to lobby in support of Truman. This day is also used by other members of the Kirksville community, including the city of Kirksville and A.T. Still, to bring awareness to the Northeast Missouri region. Students who attended the trip toured the Capitol building and sat in the gallery during House hearings. Members of student government visited representatives and senators to gain support for the university. Director of Public Relations Heidi Templeton was there, as well as President Sue Thomas. Templeton made a point as she briefed students prior to talking to the representatives that they should emphasize how the Kirksville community and the university have withstood time and are celebrating a landmark anniversary this year. Truman State University and St. Louis University began talks in December 2017 about the possibility of developing a program where Truman students could transfer to SLU to study law. Provost Janet Gooch says the universities are discussing a 3+3 program. This means students would attend Truman for the first 3 years of their undergraduate degree, then transfer to SLU for their first year of law school. This first year would also count as their final year of undergraduate studies. Gooch says currently the discussion only deals with a law program, but that Truman is also working on other programs for students at community colleges to transfer to Truman, and where current Truman students can transfer to other schools for postgraduate degrees. The city of Kirksville is planning to construct a 0.3-mile trail to connect the sidewalks of downtown Kirksville to what will be a new Forest Lake Area Trail System trailhead. The city recently applied for a grant from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources for the trail. The grant funds up to $150,000. The city sent in the request February 16th, and if accepted, the estimated cost of the trail is about $148,000. The specific trail site the city is applying for is to connect downtown Kirksville's existing sidewalk system to Thousand Hills' existing trail. The trail will run from the 300 block of West Washington Street and cross Osteopathy Street, connecting it to the new trailhead at the intersection of Osteopathy and Missouri Streets. The impact on development during construction is estimated to be minimal to Kirksville residents. The tragic Parkland, Florida shooting has brought the issue of gun control to the forefront of everyone's mind, but also a greater concern for mental health is being discussed in Kirksville on Tuesday. Hundreds of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America members lined the hallways of the Missouri Capitol, lobbying for stricter gun control laws. It has also become a topic of concern for local schools in the Kirksville area. Kirksville has lost several students to suicide at the high school level and at Truman State University. In a recent school board meeting, the Kirksville R3 School District Board addressed what administration could do to focus on mental health issues in light of the recent shooting. District officials say the school has already implemented training sessions on how to deal with trauma-related instances, according to an article in the Kirksville Daily Express. Next, stay tuned for a look at recent track and field meets, but before that, let's take a look at this week's forecast.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
The track and field team will compete at the GLVC Indoor Championships this weekend in Indianapolis. This will be the second time in 3 weeks Truman has attended a meet in the city. The team competed at the Indianapolis Team Invitational and had 11 personal best sets. Head coach Tim Schweigler says he believes the Bulldogs are capable of achieving more personal bests this time around. Schweigler says personal bests are good motivation for athletes, which usually leads to team success. He says he expects multiple Bulldogs to score points for the team while possibly qualifying for the national meet, including the team's throwers, pole vaulters, and relay teams. Overall, Schweigler says he hopes the team does well enough to at least finish in the middle of the standings, but he also says the meet will prepare them for the outdoor season.
Usually there's a transition. Usually we were a better outdoor team than indoor team, especially with the weather this year for us. So we want to carry that tradition on.
Both the men's and women's basketball teams are making a final push for the GLVC tournament, starting tonight against William Jewell College and then Saturday against University of Illinois Springfield. The men are 4th in the conference rankings after defeating University of Wisconsin Parkside last Thursday 89-60, their largest margin of victory since January 4th. They then lost Saturday to first place Bellarmine University 82-70. Truman was held to 28 first half points. The women are 7th in the conference rankings after defeating Wisconsin Parkside 71-40 and Bellarmine 75-67. After losing 7 straight games, the Bulldogs have won their last 3. Even though they still have to win their final 2 games to qualify for the tournament, head coach Amy Egan says the players are not putting too much pressure on themselves and the veterans have stepped up to lead at this crucial time. The baseball team played its first series this past weekend against Washburn University. The Bulldogs split the 4 games, winning 6-4 and 2-0 and losing 6-5 and 10-0. Head coach Dan Davis says the team played well despite not having its regular lineup available. Sophomore infielder Brendan Trimble is limited to a designated hitting role because of his inability to throw, and junior outfielder Mason King is out because of a hamstring injury. Davis says freshmen like outfielder Noah Schrader and infielder Ethan Kleinheider had good performances to cover the injuries. Davis says the team's veterans encourage the younger players to relax while also challenging them to be better, which will help the team to stay competitive. Truman has 4 games this weekend against Missouri Southern State University. After outscoring Westminster College 18-0 in a doubleheader Thursday, the softball team lost both games of a doubleheader against Missouri University of Science and Technology Sunday. The Bulldogs lost Game 1 10-2 and Game 2 4-2. 8 different Bulldogs had at least 1 RBI in the Westminster series, but only 3 drove in a run in the Missouri S&T series. The Bulldogs now have a record of 4-4. During the last 4 games, junior pitcher Lauren Dale started 2 games, allowing 1 run in 12 innings. Senior infielder Ashley Murphy hit .500 and had 3 RBIs. The Bulldogs will have their first home series March 4th against Saginaw Valley State. This has been your Truman Sports Update. Stay tuned after the break. Got a quarter? Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. For complete news coverage, be sure to stay tuned to KTRM and pick up a copy of the Index, and check out our news content on tmn.truman.edu. You can also follow TMN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for breaking news updates. And if you missed part of our broadcast tonight, check out TMN TV on YouTube. If you've ever thought about being on TV, be sure to head on over to tmn.truman.edu/apply to fill out an application today. From all of us here at TMN, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.